Hey, I'm Laura Morano, and I'm in studio with The Hollywood Reporter.
Before we jump in, I have the utmost important question for you.
Give it to me.
Are you ready?
I'm really excited. Anticipation.
So, your favorite flavor of ice cream is not vanilla like Celia's, correct? Or is it?
Well, like, actually, yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
chocolate and vanilla are my two favorites.
Okay.
And typically, like, this is really random. But my
Was
favorite...
that why it was in the...
No.
Oh, that's so
I
crazy.
know, it was super... I remember watching it with my sister, and my sister just started laughing during that part because she's like, that really is you. And I'm like, I know, I do like it. So, like, my favorite Haagen-Dazs flavor is vanilla.
Okay.
It's really special. If you haven't had it, I recommend it.
I don't know if we can plug brands here, but
I'm
Ben
not.
Jerry's
Oh, I'm
Mint
not.
Oreo is
And
the
by
way
the way,
to go.
I'm not connected with them at all. Like,
Sponsored.
totally.
Well, speaking of that, then, what kind of other ways are you like Celia, and what stood out to you most about her?
It's so funny. So every character I play, I always bring a little bit of myself to the character. Celia, I was so attracted to her because she's, just this unlikely female heroine for a rom-com. She's sarcastic and bitter and kind of dark and really fun to play and embody, and not something that you see in most rom-coms. I think she definitely has a bit more darkness and bitterness than I have, but I definitely have a sarcastic sense of humor that I feel like probably more my family gets to see than people who know me in different ways or know me through my work. So that was really fun to kind of bring out in Celia because I never get to do that.
She's super cool.
She's super cool. Yeah, she's just awesome. And I like to think that I'm like her, but I got to say, some people on my team saw the movie and they were like, wow, I don't know how you played her. You're so different. I'm like, whoa, that's offensive. Because she's awesome.
Yeah, no, she's great. Now, obviously, you're being reunited with Noah Centineo.
Yeah.
Who you worked with on Austin and Ally. What were some of your favorite memories from working with him then, and kind of your favorite memories this time around?
We had such a good time both on Austin and Ally and this movie, and it was different. Like, we, did Austin and Ally when I was 16, he was 15, versus 21 and 22, right? So you mature, you grow, and I think the biggest difference probably this time around is that we were able to have like some pretty deep, mature conversations.
Offset, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, which just kind of like brought us closer and I think helped with our chemistry and helped with, just the bond overall in the movie. We also like loved to rehearse, like the whole cast.
Yeah.
We were constantly kind of working as hard as we can to make this as awesome as possible. But I think overall, the biggest difference was not just Noah and I, but Odysseus and Camila Mendes as well. We were able to really get close on a really pretty deep level right away. And, the movie obviously is like a pretty light movie, but I think having that trust with your cast and having that trust with any sort of partner in art, does make the process a little bit easier acting with them,
Now, are you more similar to Celia, would you say, or Shelby? I mean, you don't really see that much of Shelby.
Yeah, it's funny. Cammy and I actually had such a long, great conversation about it because, the movie's a little bit from Brooks's eyes, right? Brooks's perspective. And so with that, it's, of course, Shelby, who isn't like this, but seems more kind of two-dimensional because that's how Brooks sees that
her,
world,
yeah.
and
she's not really
how
that.
He's attracted to the idea of her and the idea of that world is so two-dimensional. So there's a lot of things that I feel like were in the script that you don't necessarily get on screen that Cam and I talked about. That Shelby's actually pretty awesome.
She's great.
She's also kind of not your typical the other girl or the popular girl.
And when she tells him at the end, she says, I don't like you because you're not rich. I don't like you because you're a liar.
Yeah, totally. Where you're just like, damn, girl, yes. And she's ambitious. And, I obviously feel more connected and more similar to Celia because I lived within her. So I feel those similarities.
And Celia obviously slaps Noah's character, Brooks.
Yes.
In a moment that you feel really bad for her after what he was saying to her.
Totally. And I felt really bad
how
for
many
Noah.
Takes did the slap?
Him.
How many takes did those take? Or?
Oh, it took a few takes, and I was giving it. I think I was a little less in the first few takes, and then Noah was like, no, just lay it on, give it to me. And I really did. And Noah was a little bit like, okay, so when are we done? It was...
Did you get it?
like gave him a mark.
Oh my
like
gosh.
it was pretty intense. I felt really bad.
Yeah.
Like it was. I don't enjoy hitting people.
But it was deserved in terms of the character.
It totally. It was Brooks totally deserved
So
it.
mean.
Noah didn't really.
Now, in the app that Brooks creates, they make it very clear that this is a legal app. What were those conversations like to kind of get that point across?
Totally.
This is a stand-in, and this wasn't. He wasn't a prostitute. This is a legal
totally.
thing.
Sex isn't happening.
Yeah.
That was in like.
Because they make it clear.
They make
which
it
is
very
I think
clear.
important.
For sure. There's like been a few drafts of the script, and in every draft it was pretty clear. But I think every new draft it was like even more clear.
Yeah.
Like even I think we all wanted to put out, and by we, I include myself, but it's really the writers and the producers and the director, right? Want to make sure that it was very clear that it's not any sort of prostitution or even, we don't go into it, but it doesn't seem like any kind of physical situation
It's like
is part of the app. It's just more about lying to yourself for the night and having your perfect date.
Was there any of the characters that he kind of played or had to like be that stood out to you the most?
Oh man, they're all so good. I think I kind of love the weird like New York Italian gangster he does.
Oh, the douchebag one. Yeah.
It's because when I read it in the script, I didn't see it as the way he portrayed it, and how he portrayed it is like so much funnier and so much better than I could have imagined. I don't know how I viewed it, but like that's one of my favorite parts is when you read a script and then you see it come to life, and hopefully it's even better than you imagine it. But that part in particular was so good.
Now, if you could create an app, what would that look like?
Oh man, I don't know. I think there's so many. In some ways, there's so many different options, like depending on how crazy your imagination is. But in other ways, I feel like everything quite literally has been
something,
created.
yeah.
Like you look at something and you're kind of like, oh, that would make a cool app, and then you're like,
it exists.
that it already exists. I love the like emoji apps. Any ones that are like include new emojis, I think are so fun.
Do you do like the Bitmoji and like
I love
the
it.
talking animal head?
Love
So
every.
funny.
Oh my god, I'm like so obnoxious, and I love every minute of it.
Netflix obviously has brought back kind of the rom-com genre lately. What do you think they're getting right with these films, and what do you think is standing out about them?
I think everyone loves rom-coms.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't think the rom-com ever went away. I just
Yeah.
think the
It's been into a newer audience, I guess.
yeah,
in a
and
way.
I think the act of consuming it has changed,
Yeah.
right? So it's not really kind of a go to theater release sort of thing anymore. And maybe it still could be, but the idea of it's my dream of just being in my house and consuming all the rom-coms that I would like to consume. It's kind of what we all want to do.
Yeah.
There's something about rom-coms, they just make you feel good. And I think nowadays we like to have films that make us feel good.
Yeah. Going off that, Never Been Kissed celebrated its 20th anniversary this year. What are some of your
True.
favorite rom-coms?
Love anyone with Drew Barrymore. 10 Things I Hate About You is such a good one.
That also actually had an anniversary.
Really?
Last month, I think.
I think I saw that too. I watched it like literally a few nights ago, and I was just like, oh, this is so good. She's All That, Miss Congeniality. Clueless. Like, I'm actually kind of the biggest rom-com fan, so this is so great.
Do you have any favorite quote that you can share
from
your favorite rom-com or?
Okay, what's the one from 10 Things I Hate About You? It's not like necessarily that rom-com-y, but that Bianca is saying to Gabrielle Union's character, where Gabrielle Union's like, I know you can be overwhelmed and underwhelmed, but can you just be whelmed? And then Bianca's like, I think you can in Europe, or something like that. And that is so good.
Brooks actually quotes Seinfeld in the movie.
Yes.
I think that kind of might go over some people's heads,
Oh,
like
for
the younger
sure.
audiences. Do you see that happening?
Oh, 100%. But that's, again, what's kind of fun about this age of consuming television and film is like people will watch it again and again.
Yeah.
And when I'm sure some of the younger people get into Seinfeld, as it is bound to happen, they'll rewatch and be like, oh, that's
Oh, you're a
hilarious.
Seinfeld fan.
Yeah,
But,
I am, yes. I'm like, I love multicam stuff. So like Seinfeld, Friends, Cheers. Three's Company and Cheers are actually kind of like my top two.
Yeah. And one thing I was thinking too when watching the film, I feel like it could have been done as a TV series because there is so much you could do with it, especially with the stand-in thing, like their relationship.
Well, the app in general, I think, is so funny, and like
Ridiculous.
I ridiculous, but I kind of love that our film feels so 2019
Oh
in
yeah,
that
no,
way,
of course.
right? Because
yeah,
it's
definitely.
like the whole synopsis is around an app.
Yeah. Your music is in the film. You have your EP out,
Yes.
Me. What excited you most about this body of work?
Oh man, it's the first time I've ever put out a body of
Yeah.
work for my music, which was so exciting to me. It's something I've always wanted to do. You know, we're in such an interesting time with film and television and with music when it comes to consuming. And obviously in music, it's a little bit more of like a singles-based economy almost, but there's still something so special about having a body of work that's cohesive and there's a story there. And so this, you know, bit of music has been music I've been working on for a little bit. And my kind of whole point, there's a lot of points with it, but my main point is really hopefully showing that every side of yourself and every side of me and every side of all of us is as significant as the other.
I'll stand on my feet, but not today. I'll hit delete, throw it all away.
With the ending of the film, it's kind of very happily ever after. Would you say?
Well, yeah, I mean,
What do you think happens after their little dance? Do they go off and dance together at college, or?
yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting because we'll see how they do long distance. Cause,
Yeah, Michigan and
Yeah.
UConn.
And UConn are quite, they're not that far, but they're
Yeah.
kind of far. Yeah, I think they both kind of are okay with being in the moment
Yeah.
a little bit and not stressing too much about what each are expecting of each other, what's expected of them, and what the future holds, which is kind of nice.
Do you think it's kind of a close-ended ending though, or would you want to? What would that kind of look like if there was a sequel?
Oh man,
'Cause,
it's
you know,
so
everyone's
funny.
gonna be asking when
No,
the
I
ending
know.
comes out. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so a person that loves like beginning, middle, ends,
Yeah.
and like that's it.
And watching those things over and over. I like watching the same movie over and over.
Yeah, totally same. Yeah, when there's some of my favorite rom-coms have like different sequels, I'm always kind of like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think everyone's story doesn't just end
Yeah.
like at high school. Obviously, like college is a whole other situation. So I definitely imagine there's more to their story.
Definitely.
But I like how it ends.
Well, thank you so much for being here. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
Make sure to have the perfect date night by watching The Perfect Date.
Yes.
Now on Netflix.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.